one of our football floats. There's two on the tether to control how it lays out between the vehicles.
So it doesn't sink and get caught?
So the float, yeah, so the tether is neutrally buoyant. So if we didn't have, there's two floats and one weight on there to kind of manage how it lays out between the vehicles. The weight's underneath Atalanta, so that right underneath Atalanta, it drops down the tether. And then in between Hercules and Atalanta, there's two football floats that help raise it up. If you didn't have those, the tether would just kind of be all over the place and more at risk of entanglement.
All right, there you have it. I'd like to welcome in our viewers. We got some people from Australia, United Kingdom. We got Guam in the house, Japan, Netherlands, Philippines, Mexico, Palau, Ali Palau, Canada, and some from the US. Welcome all. And join us while we look around at this nice seamount.
Megan, are those contours in high pack? Are they? What's the spacing?
10 meters.
Okay, nice.
I have another fish to starboard.
It's Aldrovandia.
Quick one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been one of our tricky tasks of this cruise to get lots of good zooms on fishes.
We've seen a lot of that fish.
Is that a halosaur?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bridge nav. we add 50 more meters to that move? Thank you. Yep.
So for those listening in, we are moving up a newly mapped seamount within the Palauan waters, within their domestic fishing zone, just near the Palau National Marine Sanctuary. And it's one of our longer dives. It's going to be about 20 hours. We started at one of our deeper depths as well, so we have quite a long track line to go up this slope. Starting around 3,000 meters, we're around 2,800 meters at the moment, and continuing up our steepest part of the slope, although it's kind of gradually sloping compared to some other dives, and we'll reach a summit depth of about 1,270 meters, looking around, doing some zooms on whatever organisms and species we see, and collecting some specimens, some samples that represent this area to help us better characterize the biodiversity, abundance, and geologic setting of this region.
So speaking of geological setting, is this pretty similar to what we found in our previous dives, like the rocks with volcanic?
Very, very good question. So we broke open, well, I was very pleased to get the rock hammer out and break open a couple of rocks last night, and it was a shock to see that what we were quite sure to be basalt ended up being a very thickly manganese oxide encrusted, siliciclastic kind of sandstone or mudstone. So not carbonate, which would have been from what we would see in much shallower depths, like maybe up to 400 meters deep on some summits, but definitely a sedimentary rock that has just a very, very thick manganese oxide crust. So I'm not exactly sure yet of the rate in these waters for manganese oxide formation. So typically, in general, we would say like 5 to 7 millimeters per million years, but in some areas that can be quite a lot bigger, and we were seeing several centimeters thick manganese oxide crusts, which is really impressive. So definitely millions of years old.
And that was from the sample we collected yesterday.
Yeah, and I also opened up another sample that I was really sure to be basalt from a previous dive, just because I was second-guessing myself after seeing this one. And it did look like a very weathered basalt, but very weathered, very old. So on some of our first expedition, the dives from the northern part of the Palau National Marine Sanctuary, a few of those rocks were certainly basalt, and a few of them were certainly carbonate, but the ones that we've been seeing around here are colloquially, talking to some geologist friends, known as milk duds, which is kind of funny because they're quite heavy. So you would think heavy, dark, black rock from several thousand meters deep on a seamount that's known to be volcanically originated is probably basalt. That would make the most sense, but then there you open it up and it's essentially semi-consolidated sediment inside of a very thick carapace, very thick crust.
Little critter in the upper right.
Not
Interesting. Thank you
caramel,
for
because
sharing.
caramel would be better.
Yeah, very strange, but there are folks out there who study these manganese and ferromanganese crust formations. Ooh, the scale worm.
Wow.
Very pretty.
This is a swimming polychaete worm in the family Accuroceridae.
It's so shiny.
Yeah, so
Evasive
it's
maneuvers.
pretty important to get some samples when we're doing these dives, just so we can positively identify.
All right.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, that's the goal, to sample just enough to be able to characterize what kind of environments we're seeing and the inhabitants of these environments, the biodiversity of these spaces, while also preserving them and just taking what we need.
All right, thank you.
On the previous expedition, we did see this. On one of our dives, we saw kind of like a slump where there was exposed mudstone or siliclastic rock formation that kind of slumped from likely a little landslide or something like that. So I think that kind of deposit is probably something similar to maybe what this manganese oxide crust is forming on top of.
We got a question asking if we have ever sampled deep sea corals for paleo analysis.
Yeah, so we have sampled. I know in the Channel Islands there are paleo shorelines. Many years ago, we were working there, and we were sampling rocks and sediment from areas that are currently submerged, so underwater, but used to be beaches and used to be sea caves. So we did some sampling there specifically for kind of a paleo analysis, but in terms of sampling kind of dead coral rubble for paleo analysis, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on that. I'm not sure how useful that would be. I think the coral rubble degrades and also gets coated in this manganese oxide crust and is kind of hard to date and would not be super useful for that, but
There's a sponge.
there is a sponge. Can zoom on that.
This is a glass sponge in the family Pheronematidae. We often call it the catcher's
push in there.
smut sponge. Kind of looks like a catcher's mitt if you use your imagination, I guess.
Are those sticking out of it normal?
Yeah, those are some spicules. So long pieces of glass that are sticking out of this sponge.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh,
now
there
you
you
can
go.
see that's where you put your hand.
Yeah.
And it has these long spicules that are rooting down into the sediment as well to keep it stable. So this sponge used to be called Sericolophus, but its name has changed to, it's like something with an I-E-G, Colophus.
Why would they change the name? Is it because they figured out it's a different type of species, or?
There's a lot of reasons why they would change the name. Taxonomists are always doing more work and finding out new things. And sometimes animals don't fit as well into a group as we thought they did, especially now with more DNA analysis. And so there's been a lot of rearranging of taxonomy. People are always learning more and more about these animals that we see, and everything is always evolving in science.
So it's not just because he couldn't pronounce it?
It's probably not because of that.
All
Honestly, I think the new name is harder to pronounce.
right.
You can come, White Iron.
Thank you for that.
It can also be challenging where when you learn something with a certain name and then the name keeps changing and now you're like, wait, what do I call it? For example, the gold coral in Hawaii, when I first learned it, it was called Gerardia, and then it was called something with an S for a while, and now it's called Kulamanamana Haumea.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they gave it a local name?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
last
So
name?
they gave it a name in Hawaiian, which means gold and branching, because the gold coral is gold and branching.
Cool.
Oh, secret deep sea ring.
Yeah, we saw a lot of those on the first expedition.
Yeah, we did.
Do we know what causes them?
Some kind of worm.
We're still not sure, I think, exactly which worm, but we saw these crop circles all over the place. Especially on 1 or 2 dives in particular, we were seeing them
It's
all
the
over.
aliens. You never know.
You can't rule out anything.
It's like that movie of The Abyss.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Oh, you should watch it. You'd like it.
All right. Put it on my list. Abyss.
Bridge now. Can we make a 50-meter move? 203. Thanks. There's a cucumber. This is a sea cucumber in the family Senelactidae.
Push in there.
That white one is rolling around.
So you said this is sea cucumber?
Yep, it's a sea cucumber. Doesn't look like the sea cucumbers you're used to, is it?
Yeah, definitely.
A little bit more decorative.
Mhm.
It's
All right,
in
come on.
purple.
You can see all its insides.
So would that be closer to the headless chicken monster?
Yeah, it is very similar to the headless chicken monster. We might actually see one of those. They're around here.
Mm.
So far we have collected 2 sea cucumbers, 1 Paleopodides and 1 Ampermare, probably, or a Peniagone, and one of these mysterious milk dud rocks. As we're coming up slope, just to keep everyone's eyes out, when we get to around 2,500 meters, we'll trigger a Niskin.
Sounds good.
Otherwise, we'll just keep taking zooms and perhaps sample if we see something we'd like to snip.
Oh, this is weird. What
Yeah.
are you doing, Black Coral?
Yeah, this is very strange.
It looks like it's a Bathypathes, but it got twisted.
Yeah, it's like Bathypathes meets Iridogorgia.
It wanted to be an Iridogorgia when it grew up.
Push in there.
So there are some snake stars,
Some little brittle stars down
little
there.
stars.
Very
All right,
nice.
come
Thank
on.
you. And that sponge is Poliopogon. It's another type of glass sponge in the family Pheronematidae.
Gonna zoom back out ahead. Zooming over the mud.
fish off to port, I think. Some little guy. We're just over him.
All I see is the nematocarcinus.
No, it went,
A what?
Oh, the shrimp.
yeah,
Oh,
it went underneath the porch.
The little ones are fast.
Mm-hmm.
there's another shrimp.
Shrimp.
Bridge nav. We make a 50-meter move 203. Awesome. Oh, there's fish. See a little black line?
So maybe we
Okay,
gotta
gonna push in there.
for this. Oh,
Oh,
I think this might be that small Basazetus.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, and a jelly. Or is
Oh,
that a
it's
cucumber?
cucumber,
It's
yeah.
a cucumber, yeah.
Taking off.
oh, there
Doing
we
its crunches.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm swimming so hard.
Wow, I didn't even see that. I only saw the shadow. I was like, where is it?
Yeah, it blended in really well, didn't it?
Yeah. Oh, there's the fish. Don't go.
Push in there.
Oh, I see the eyes. Oh.
Oh, nice.
Too close.
I can't focus that close. Oh, there's an umbellula.
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 Is Umbellula a coral or a sea pen?
It's, yes,
Yes?
yes.
Both?
It is both of those things.
Cool.
All sea pens are corals.
Oh.
Not all corals are sea pens.
Oh. Wow.
So we have somebody asking in the chat, like for a 20-hour dive, I think they're asking, it's probably, we need to manage sampling, kind of be picky on what we, so how is that navigated over the long dive?
Yeah, well, it always really depends on the amount of desired samples. We can fill up our sample boxes on pretty short dives if there's a lot of
Interesting.
really interesting, rocks and biology, but we can last for quite a while if we're mindful about how many samples we collect and
Storage space.
exactly, and sometimes we can double up if there's really clear differences between the specimens and they're not too floaty or escape artists. But Taya, our data logger, is the one who keeps track of all of our sample locations and our sample log. So it's a really important job.
Yeah.
Since we're switching shifts every 4 hours, we're not the same people that collected the samples just before us, and there will be a group after us that did not collect the samples for the previous 8 hours. So we all need to be able to sort of transfer the knowledge from the previous watch that we were on and make sure that we try not to lose samples while we collect new ones, because it does happen sometimes.
Yeah, like the sea cucumber that got away yesterday.
Exactly, yeah, and a little coral. So
And the little coral.
so it was too bad, but yeah, we try to avoid that, and normally we're quite good at keeping those, keeping that to a minimum, but you never know. That's part of working out here. It's hard to tell what's going to be super floaty or escape from one of our little boxes.
Yeah, but it's probably not feasible to like bring Herc up just to get the sample and send them back down, right?
Well, we have in the past on some cruises where there was very heavy sample requests, just planned shorter dives, and we wouldn't kind of fill it up really fast, go up and just drop it back down. There's a whole kind of process of sample processing in the lab. The ROV team has their post and pre-dive checks. So even if the site is already mapped, so often we're mapping between dives, even if we already have the site mapped, there's still quite a few things that our different departments have to handle between recovering a vehicle and relaunching it. So it's not as quick as just like empty the boxes and drop back down, yeah. But yeah, we can definitely have much shorter dives and much longer dives. And it's part of what's really useful with ROVs is you're not as limited as HOVs or human-occupied vehicles, where typically there's a set amount of time that
It can be underwater.
right. Whereas ROVs, it's often more about the number of samples and the site of interest, and how much time we really need to spend on a particular site to characterize it. But we can stay down pretty long, so I'm not sure. Jake, do you know what Herc's longest dive time was?
I think it's somewhere in
It's like
70-something hours on ONC.
73 hours.
73 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's almost 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh, it's already 3 days, right?
Theoretically, we could stay down for as long as we want.
It's just when the boxes fill up.
Lots of commercial vehicles or stay underwater, stay deployed for months at a time.
And we would.
As long as you have oil pressure, right?
Yeah, 1 PSI. Positive pressure. all you need.
We would like to welcome back Elsie. She just finished her eDNA sample. Maybe you can introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks Bodak, Ali, everybody, and sorry for the interruption. My name is Elsie Tilley, and I'm a researcher at the Palau International Coral Reef Center, and I'm here on the Nautilus as part of a team to collect environmental DNA, and I just finished processing our samples from this morning. So happy to be back and see what we can see on this dive.
Wonderful. Welcome, I'll say.
I think we have somebody that's been on the ship is telling us on the chat here saying, well, technically, Herc's longest dive was 167 hours when the tether broke, so I don't know.
I don't think that counts.
Yeah, I don't think that counts either. But, so when that happened, they had to do a recovery?
Yeah, so what happened was the termination at the top of Argus parted, and so both Argus and Hercules stayed on the seafloor. Fortunately, the ROV Jason was in the area and able to be mobilized to go and help with that recovery.
Oh, that's
So we
cool.
used an ROV to rescue an ROV.
ROV. Wow.
Oh, there's an Ipnops. I see the black line with the white dot.
Oh yeah. These are cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like them.
These are very cool.
Are these the ones with the head on top? Like,
Yeah, so
I mean
the
eyes, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
they have the eye plates that are really good at sensing light.
They look like little solar panels.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good way of describing them.
That's sort of what they're doing, is
Yeah.
trying to collect like a single photon.
Yep.
I can push in there.
So just like the
Oh.
Bathysaurus,
Camera shy.
yeah, they're
Probably felt it zooming in.
these are ambush predators, and so they sit on the seafloor and wait for their prey to come by, and they can move very fast for short periods of time.
It's too much light.
Yep. It was like, I don't know. They can also sense the vibration from the vehicle, so we can't hear it up here in the control van, but the vehicle is actually pretty loud. It makes a very distinctive sound, which you can hear when it's on deck and running. Sometimes I forget that, you know, the animals down there are experiencing a very different herc than what we experience up here.
Yeah, the bright lights and probably the sound of the thrusters.
Yeah, it's mainly the HPU. It makes a very
Oh.
kind kind of sound.
Kind of like a outboard engine.
Let's take a look at this sea pen. Nice.
When we've had some camera systems on before that recorded audio, it was interesting to get a little audio recording of vehicle movement. It
Push in
was
there.
Oh.
quite noisy.
Oh yeah, it's very noisy.
Is that a basket star?
It's a snake star.
A snake star.
Yeah. So they are related to the basket stars, but their arms don't branch multiple times.
The thing I remember most about the sea pens is that the base is called a peduncle.
Yeah,
It's a funny name.
it's a great word. That's also the base of the tail of a sea animal is also called a peduncle. So like fish, where the tail meets the body, or dolphins and whales, where the tail meets the body, is the peduncle.
Oh, the more you know.
Okay. Happy there?
Yeah, thank you.
So do these tend to like more sandy, sediment-covered areas? The sea pens?
Yeah, most sea pens do root in sediment, and so deep sediment is where we'll find a majority of sea pens, though there are a few types of sea pens that we call rock pens that have a modified base that acts like a suction cup, and they sit on top of rocks instead of in sediment.
Interesting. And I'm guessing they're called sea pens because they sort of look like a quill?
Yeah. When you pull the animal out of the sediment, that base, that peduncle, is a long kind of quill-like structure that keeps it rooted down in the sediment. And
Very
since
cool.
the top can sometimes curl and look like feather-like,
Wow.
the first collections of these animals reminded the scientists of a quill pen.
Sea cucumber off to the right.
And that is when we're still using quills as pens?
Exactly.
Pushing on this little star.
Oh, what a cutie.
A little star.
It's a little
It's
one.
Patrick's star. Well, it looks similar to Patrick's star.
We just need a yellow sponge and we're all set.
That's all I got.
Roger.
So this is a cookie star, a sea star in the family Goniasteridae.
Okay. Come back wide. I'm moving.
There's an umbellula.
Did you want to zoom? Or?
Yeah, can we get a zoom on that?
All right, push in there.
This is a old sponge stock.
Yeah, you can see the woven spicules. It was off to the starboard side. We saw the...
Umbrella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, come on.
There it is.
Push in there.
So this is another type of sea pen. A little bit different from the one we were just looking at.
Great.
It's the one with different inks.
Yeah, I always remember it because all the polyps are at the top like an umbrella, so it's an umbellula.
Umbellula.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
So, can we see any eggs within the polyps? That might be too tricky. The scientist ashore that might be interested in that for this.
No, I don't see any eggs. The dark structure, that's its stomach. But if it was reproductively active at the moment, you would see little white spheres near the base of the polyps.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay.
I
Come
think
back
we're
on.
good, yeah, thank you.
Aaron, you got a fan watching from Shelton, Washington, giving you a shout out. No names though.
It's probably my mom.
Hi, Mom.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, your mom sounds cool.
Yeah, I can't wait for our interaction.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. It should be good.
Is the little bird will start?
Oh, that's a cool one. We gotta look at that.
Zoom in on that, yeah.
So this is a sea star in the family Bracyngidae, and it's a bit
Push in there.
sleepy right now. So when they're feeding, these are filter feeders, and they put their arms up into the water column, and they have these little sticky balls on the ends of the spines along the arms, and they can move food particles that they've collected down to the mouth, which is on the underside of the animal. This one is not currently in the feeding posture, so it's resting. Very cool.
Great zoom.
What's the
Alright.
common name for this?
You can come back later.
Sea star.
Yeah, Bracingid.
Yeah, so the family is Bracyngidae.
Zoom.
Just, oh, there you go. Can you hear me?
What's
You
that?
can hear me? You can hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I lost it for a second.
But it's because you weren't listening. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tons of those little red jellies.
Lots of little red jellies. Everywhere you go, you'll see little red jellies if you look hard enough.
Life's motto.
Especially off the west coast of the U.S., there are just a high abundance of these little red jellies, and they're like all different. There's a paper that's just called Little Red Jellies.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a science paper.
Science papers.
That was
Just
awesome.
little red jellies.
Little red jellies.
I love it.
That would be at the top of my CV if I wrote that.
Yeah. And it describes a bunch of the little red jellies and the challenges that there are in identifying them.
I thought you were going to say the challenges of being a little red jelly.
Oh, I bet it's pretty challenging to be a little red jelly, to be honest.
That would be a good children's book to pair with the scientific article.
Yeah,
Oh, I like that.
I would love that.
that would be so cute. I could get behind it.
I'm all for deep sea children's books. There's a few of them out there.
Is this another sea pen?
Yeah.
Looks like it.
And then a sponge on the right.
Oh yeah, that sponge looks cool.
Do you have a particular children's book that you really like for the deep sea?
Ooh,
What is
good question. Well, there are several.
Snap zoom there.
Yeah, let's do a snap zoom.
This is a glass sponge in the family Euplectellidae called Euplectella, and it also has spicules that are modified to root down into sediment.
Oh, that's why we see the little whiskers on the side.
Yeah, the little hairs. Those are spicules.
All right, come on.
Well, I can think of a couple, but there's several volcano kids books that I quite like. But
Oh.
there's one book that's kind of about geological Earth history, including oceans, but also Earth, and it's technically very accurate and very cute story, and it's called Older Than Dirt, and I really like this book.
What is it called?
Older Than Dirt. Yeah, it's a good one. I know that Hui released a Mesobot kids book about the Twilight Zone. I haven't actually looked at it, but I heard that it's quite cute. But yeah, the Older Than Dirt book was written by scientists Mike Perfit, who's a marine geologist, as well as another scientist, Don Brown, who they're both experts, so they're able to write about these subjects in a accurate but kind of understandable way.
Is that a sea pig on the bottom
It is.
with its little... I guess they have different sort of protrusions.
good?
Definitely. Yeah.
We collected one of these on the previous cruise.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Could we get a little zoom on that?
Uh-huh.
Awesome.
All right, you can push in there.
Oh yeah, I think I remember a sample that's inside the
Is that a
wet
little
room.
isopod or?
It's a scale worm.
Ooh.
Yeah, that little purple animal is a scale worm, a type of polychaete. We often see them associated with sea cucumbers, and if the sea cucumber were to like jump off the seafloor and start swimming, sometimes the polychaete will catch a ride.
Little sea bus.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
This one, actually, has everyone seen the film My Neighbor Totoro?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So
That's
I
okay.
would imagine maybe it kind of moves like that.
A great reference.
All right, come on.
It does have some cat bus energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really want to read that Older Than Dirt book.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I think, you know, being able to explain science to a child, but in an accurate way, is one of the skills of being a science communicator.
Totally,
For sure.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite books growing up were The Magic School Bus.
Oh, yeah.
I loved Magic School Bus.
Yeah, every time we got the Scholastic magazines, I would just go straight to that and check it off.
I'm
think
not
I have-
surprised.
She has Mrs. Frazzle, Miss Frazzle
Yeah.
energy.
Oh,
Miss
yeah.
Frazzle.
I always wanted to be
Definitely.
Miss Frizzle when I grew up.
I think you've almost
You
accomplished
I think
it.
you
kind
did.
of are.
I think you are the Miss Frizzle of the sea.
Yeah, I love that, the Magic School Bus.
There's some really good kids' books out there. I loved Stella Luna and
Oh, yeah.
Goodnight Moon. I think those were my favorite.
Good Night Moon. Well, that sounds like something I'd read.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a wonderful one. In Palau, we do have children's book, but a lot of times there's nursery rhymes in Palauan.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if Blodak wants to sing one for us.
Yeah, please.
I'm not, which nursery rhymes you're talking about?
I'll say maybe you can sing one for us.
Oh, wow, I think I see something on the screen.
I have some friends in Kenya, and they wanted to keep some of the nursery rhymes and stuff alive, so they created this animated kids show. And it's these two kids that are going with the nursery rhymes in the background and actually living out the nursery rhyme. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think we need to do that, because our kids now, they know more about baby sharks than our nursery rhymes, yeah.
That song has just gotten very popular.
Are-
It's not even a new song, too.
Yeah.
Are the nursery rhymes that you're thinking of, do they have like some story behind them, or is there relation to, the ocean or land or
Yeah.
sleeping?
Yeah. A lot of them have to do with like animals and nature, and they'll be talking about, oh, look, here's this animal, look how it moves, look how it sounds. Something similar to nursery rhymes everywhere, you know.
There's one about dogs, cats. Let me see. Oh man, all of a sudden I drew a blank. Yeah.
We'll get Matt to sing on when his next watch. Matt, our cultural liaison. I'm sure he knows them.
Oh, so sa bilis ako legal tito ilaragatu. So it's pretty much just saying that the dog chases the cat, and if you go on with the song, the cat chases the mice. The mice,
Yeah.
I think, goes to the crab's
Oh, it's
house.
not a cucumber.
Oh.
It's a favorite fish.
Amazing.
Yeah, he heard me singing. So
Exactly. That's
We need
why
to sing more often.
summoned the Chanakops.
All right. Does
Push in
Jeff
there.
want us to try to catch this
Let's see,
fish?
what is he saying?
He's not active in the chat at the
is he
moment,
not
but let's see.
online?
Let's see.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
It's very pretty.
I I remember he was telling me that there seems to be a subspecies of chaunacops in a lot of the different oceans. Oh no!
Oh, that was the
Ooh.
chonax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a different.
Such a nice shot.
You can definitely. Oh, look at the little lure going.
Yeah. Oh my
I love
god.
it.
Where are you going?
I just love this fish so much. I think this is my favorite
I love
fish.
it as well.
I mean, if we were holding a net, it might just swim into it.
Oh yeah. These ones aren't very good swimmers, so you could definitely
Oh yeah, open your mouth.
catch it.
Wow.
It is
Oh, wow.
incredible.
It is really, really stunning.
Are they
can
related to
see
the
the underside.
stonefish?
So they're in the anglerfish group. You see, that's why they have the
That's a
little
good
lure on
picture.
the head.
Just a little one.
Open the box quick.
Right?
I can.
Oh,
Little squirt.
All right.
That was all of its energy.
Oh,
oh, oh.
Oh.
oh, don't. Yep.
Oh, you can see it in the
In-
Adelanto.
yeah, in
Oh,
a-
there you go.
yeah.
There it goes.
I was worried it was going to go up
I know,
the
we
wrong
all
way.
were. We were all just like, don't go too close. Yeah,
Good find, Jake.
beautiful.
What is the common name for that?
We can call it like a frogfish or a coffin fish.
Those look very frog-like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think coffin fish is the bigger ones. I think the little cute ones, they should be called frogfish.
So it has the lure similar to, I guess, the anglerfish that we know, like in popular culture as well.
Yeah. So those anglerfish that, when you think of an anglerfish, those are the midwater anglers. And these ones are specifically, they sit on the bottom and wait and perch. So more like monkfish. So monkfish are also related to the anglerfishes. So ambush predators, again, sit very still on the seafloor and wait for their prey to come by. And have that little lure to sort of attract the attention of a prey item.
Another great spot by Sarah, too.
Yeah. Sarah's the fish fiend over there.
I know.
Well, I just saw like the color and thought it was
So it was a
a
cucumber.
at first.
Yeah. It was definitely giving some cucumber.
It was cucumber vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just heard the wonderful song of
did.
Blowdock. It was drawn to us.
Do you want to sing again? Maybe we can get a shark.
Make a new song about the chaunacops chasing the shrimp, chasing
The ROV chasing the
the
chaunacops.
ROV chasing the chaunacops.
I don't know. The chaunacops was kind of chasing the ROV there.
That's true.
It's so funny. It uses, I mean, its lure is so short and sort of
Yeah.
right in front of its face. I don't,
Yeah, just trying to get it close to the mouth.
Yeah, you're like, I'm a rock. But like, look at this little tasty treat right here.
Nothing
so
to see
good.
here.
Yeah, you didn't see anything.
You don't want to lunge too far for your meal.
Yeah, well, and it's nice and red, deep pink and red, so it's hard to see, blends in. Very dark.
yeah, without our light, it would be, well,
So-
it's all dark down here.
So with that lure bioluminescence, how does the lure attract?
You saw how like it was like fluffy?
Yeah.
It kind of mimics the movement of a prey item for what the chaunacops is trying to attract. I don't think they bioluminesce like the midwater ones.
Another sea pen?
Oh, This is actually a black coral.
Oh,
In the sand?
yeah, and it has a
Yeah,
little
this is cool.
circle around it.
With a crop
So
circle.
A circle, coral circle.
so as the current moves, this black coral rotates around that center, and it sort of makes a crop circle. This is called abyssopathies.
Abyssopathies.
Abyssal, oh, like abyssal?
Yeah. I don't know.
Wow.
Should we collect this?
This looks really interesting, yeah.
All right. I will stop the ship if we're interested.
Yeah, let's collect it.
Bridge nav.
We haven't seen something like this yet. Let's get some nice imagery and like zoom out a little bit and get that whole circle as well. Take some good screen grabs.
Yeah, I've seen these before, but you don't usually see a lot of them. So if we pass on this, we might not see it again.
Yeah. Nice.
So it would always have this circle associated, it always forms the circle?
Well, it depends on what the current's like, right? So
Okay.
as the current moves, this animal moves around with that current, and that allows it to capture more food because it's so flexible in the way it can move around. And it roots, it's a really unique black coral in that it's actually rooting in the sediment and not on a hard substrate like most black corals. So it has this really interesting lifestyle compared to other species in the black corals.
Great. Can we get some close-ups on the branches and polyps?
Yeah, on the previous cruise, Daniel was talking about
That's as close
this
as I can
animal.
That's great, yeah. Nice.
So
Sorry.
it's kind of cool to see it.
get. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted.
Oh, it's all good.
That's perfect.
You were saying how the animal... Maybe? You were saying how the animal what? You were talking about Daniel and the animal.
So Daniel was actually talking about this kind of black coral on the previous cruise, and we had thought we spotted one, but then when we zoomed in, it was something else. But it's really cool to be able to see this here. This is, a first for this area.
All right.
All right. So,
Snip and slope.
yeah, I think
Just
this would be
pull.
a better candidate for a box than a snip and slurp.
Yeah, I think because the black coral skeleton is hard to cut.
Just pull it
It's
out.
probably
I
going
think
to all come out.
it'll all come out of the sediment.
So, and we don't want it to get stuck in our tube.
It's
Um,
also very wide, yeah.
Yeah. So, do we have some little boxes open on the starboard
Yes,
side?
so for starboard bio box, you have A, B, and C all open. Just D's not.
Great. Jake, do you think could go in one of those?
Yeah.
Awesome. This will be sample 38, right?
Do you want me to zoom a little bit? Or are you good?
1 second. All right, you can push in.
Yep. Is that good, or do you want a bit more?
That's good.
Cool.
Open the box. Hopefully there's no cucumbers.
Where are the cucumbers actually?
Forward box.
Forward.
Forward, both.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Everything's
I will
always
not be
in
opening.
forward.
Yeah. I was like,
Which ones are open?
A, B, and C.
Okay.
Yep.
wonderfully relabeled.
For those of you guys watching, they are currently doing this on the feed 3, channel 3. You can see the arm putting the sample inside one of the boxes.
All right, close the box.
You said this is sample 43?
I think it's 38, right?
38?
Yeah. Schizopathies is a ID from Asako that this could be.
Yeah, let me look at the guide. So there are two different ones. So if it curves upwards or curves downwards, there are two different genera. So that it is, this coral is in the schizopathidae, the family schizopathidae.
Coming up.
Alright.
So usually when we bring up the sample, would we be able to tell how old it is?
Well, you could take a piece of it and date it, and then you would know.
Alright.
I think to some degree, looking at the size of the organism, you can get a general idea of maybe how old it is, but you really can't date these without looking at the skeleton, to my understanding.
I think that was one of the questions from the web, so
Nice.
there you have it, folks.
Yeah, it looks like Abysopathes, the branches curve upwards. And the Schizopathes, the branches curve downwards. So,
Okay,
yeah.
so schizopathies it is.
Schizopathes.
Wonderful. Thank you, Asako.
Yeah.
Asako Matsumoto is one of our scientists ashore who called in on our science chat and identified that and mentioned that they had seen something like this with Okeanos before.
Is she?
Yeah, when I say I'm consulting the animal guide, it's the Okeanos animal guide that I'm looking at.
So that might actually be the
Pushing
image.
there.
She was probably looking at the same pictures.
Huh. Thank you.
All right. Come wide.
Yeah, Blodak. So speaking of aging animals, in a related project that we have at Pickrick, we would collect the some small tunas, and then we're actually able to age fish. So aging fish is a different process where you will slice open their head and collect the ear bones, and those are called otoliths. Yeah, otoliths. And you're actually able to then slice them open, and they have rings similar to a tree where you can count and measure their age. So I don't know much about aging corals, but fish, very interesting and way to tell how old they are.
Wow, thank you for that.
Yeah,
That's,
corals will have like rings like that, but they're not necessarily annual in the deep sea. So counting the rings doesn't give you an actual age.
Yeah, they
because
have
it's different down there with the way it's growing.
Yeah,
much
so like,
slower.
yeah, it's slower, and the rings could be caused by like a boom in primary productivity at the surface, and so there was a strong growth time period, but then there was many, many years before that happened again. So this happened with the gold coral. Counting the rings, it made this coral seem like it was, 60, 70 years old. But then when it was carbon dated, the same specimen was aged to be over 2,000 years old.
Oh, wow.
So a very large discrepancy in that age estimation.
Oh.
Is
Because
that
I
a
guess
sponge?
Yeah, this is a Poliopogon glass sponge.
Poliopogon.
I like saying that one.
Yeah.
It's a good name.
It's a good one.
Oh, there's a...
all right, this is some more bacteroidal texture we're seeing.
It is, definitely. Yeah. Very, very thick crusts.
Is that black thing? Something?
What's that?
The shadow?
The shadow,
It's
yeah.
a shadow.
That's a shadow.
It's just a shadow of the...
Outcropping.
There's a little shrimp. I think these are the thickest manganese oxide crusts I've ever seen.
Wow.
On samples, several centimeters thick.
The texture we're seeing right now?
Yeah, if you come by the lab later, I can show you that
Another shrimp.
this outer crust, this botryoidal texture, that thickness of that manganese oxidation is, normally I've seen it much thinner, and in general on fresher basalt rocks, but here it's very, very thick.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's very, very old, or has a very high rate of precipitation.
Yeah, so to our viewers, we are currently 2,598 meters below sea level on the bottom. Just to kind of give you guys an idea where we're finding all these wonderful creatures, animals.
Yeah, on the last cruise I was on, we sailed with a wonderful geologist named Val.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Val Finlayson. And she was amazing because every time she would just perfectly describe everything, why it was there, why it looked like that,
That's
how old it
fantastic.
was. So really useful.
She's based in American Samoa, right? Or
I thought
where is
she might have been at the University of Hawaii.
Or the University of
I'm not
Hawaii?
sure.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a tripod
Awesome.
fish.
Try
Oh,
it.
this is the one that, so it rests on the
Push in
two.
there.
Yeah.
It rests on its
Oh, looks like a
the
drone.
tips of its fins.
Nice.
Tiptoeing. Saving energy.
Perched.
That's a really nice color.
Oh yeah, no, I love the scales on this fish. If I could like have a replica of the scales for like my bathroom, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Have 'em
feel
like
like
tiles.
yeah, I feel like it's the perfect tile texture.
Yeah, and so it's Professor Valerie Finlayson with the University of Maryland.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. I don't know if she's listening, but shout out to Val.
Speaking of scientists ashore, shout out to all of our scientists ashore who are tuning in. We have several. So Asako Matsumoto from the Chiba Institute of Technology has been with us very regularly at all hours of the day and with us right now. So thank you so much for joining us. And we also have Carolyn Edwards from the University of California, Santa Barbara, Emily McLaughlin from University of Alabama, Jonathan Womack, an independent researcher, Kenneth Sulak with the USGS. Lots of great comments from him, and Les Watling as well from University of Hawaii at Manoa. And several folks from around the ship are also on our science chat. So even when we're not in the control van, we still have members of our science team and cultural team that are all together in this science chat.
Yes, thank you to all who are contributing.
Oh, there's a nice Caliphacus coming up.
Oh yeah, big one. Can we get a zoom on that?
Sure.
So this is a glass sponge in the family Roselidae called Caliphacus. It's very distinctive because it has this long stalk and mushroom-shaped head.
Push in for a zoom there.
Is that where the term cauliflower comes from? Because it looks like, you know, those fighters' ears when they call them cauliflower.
I don't know. That's a good observation, though.
Yeah, certainly looks like that.
Yeah.
So you said the Roselidae are the squishy sponges?
Yeah, these are squishy. You see how the spicules are sort of knitting together in very long
There's an
Is
associate.
that a polychaete?
pattern.
It's
Yeah,
an
a little
amphipod and a
Amphipod.
Yep.
scale worm.
Scale worm.
It's also very susical.
Mm-hmm.
I did think that, so thanks for saying it. I like that word.
It's a shrimp.
Yep, just hanging out.
All right, come on.
So basically, these are sediments that's been collected over thousands and thousands of years that's just been settled on top of this kind of volcanic rock.
Yeah, so this feature that we're moving up this seamount is volcanically originated. So it was formed through, it was a volcano a long time ago. Volcanic activity ceased about 20 million years ago. But all of this sediment has accumulated, and additionally we can have the formation of siliciclastic, basically semi-consolidated sediment, can form kind of a mudstone, limestone-like sedimentary rock. And I believe when that substrate is solid enough to form this manganese oxide crust, then once it starts forming layers of crust, then it kind of can keep growing. And I believe that's the process we're seeing here. I'm much more familiar with fresher volcanic settings and active hydrothermal settings, but based on the samples we've been looking at and kind of the geologic history of this area, that seems to be what's going on.
Thank you.
On some of our deeper dives and the dives in the northern Palau National Marine Sanctuary, we did definitely collect some basalt volcanic rocks. And we also, on really shallow parts of the tops of seamounts, we collected some biogenic carbonate, so former reef structures. But yeah, this is neither of those, just a different kind of sort of sedimentary manganese oxidized milk dud, as they're called.
Milk dud.
Because the inside is white and has a crust?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And it's really surprising because the inside is really not consolidated. You can just smear it. It's
crumbly.
It's basically like semi-compacted sediment.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's fascinating.
So it's the first time that I've opened rocks like this, but I'd be really curious to hear from some folks who work on who work on ferromanganese crusts or really kind of ancient volcanoes. So sent off a few pictures to some experts, see what they have to say about it.
Oh, fish.
Fish.
Oh, that one's sort of bigger head.
Yeah.
This is a different one. Oh, it's the Acanthonus armatus, our favorite fish.
Yeah.
Oh.
With the smallest brain to body size ratio of any vertebrate. That's
Of any vertebrate.
Very intelligent.
How big is the brain then? A piece?
It's very small.
It's a little star.
Yeah, it also has a very unfortunate common name.
Which is?
The bony-eared assfish.
Ah.
Phony-eared assfish?
Bony.
Bony.
Oh, bony. I thought you said phony. Bony.
Bony-eared assfish, yeah.
Huh.
They did see one of these on the previous watch as well.
On the same dive.
Yeah, Jeff was giggling while telling me that he had seen a bony-eared assfish.
Well, now we can tell we've seen one too.
Yeah.
It's one of those fish that always brings joy.
Did you say it has the smallest brain to body sized ratio for fish or just for animals?
For
Any
vertebrates.
For vertebrates, okay.
Quite a superlative to have
Yeah, not really the one you want, is it?
in
You
the
know,
yearbook of animals.
It might not know.
And then someone names you a really unfortunate name.
But just because you're a small brain, it doesn't mean you're dumb.
No.
No, exactly.
And also does not mean you're any more or less valued.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just a fun fact. Now you know.
That's what you should be for Halloween next year.
Oh, a bony-eared ass fish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see how many times Megan says the the name of that fish.
I feel like I'll probably have to stop. Otherwise, the SPL gurus will come after me.
Oh.
I feel like that would be a hard costume, though.
I feel like you could do it. I have faith.
But this year's costume was so comfortable.
You could,
I really love it.
you could make that one comfortable.
Well, you know, if it comes in onesie form, I'm all about it.
I don't know if it would come in onesie form.
What was everyone's costume on board? I missed the Halloween cruise.
Megan was a nudibranch.
Oh, I love it.
And then while she was wearing that costume, we saw a nudibranch. Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Pluribranch?
Oh, yeah, we did. Well, we saw a pluribranch.
which,
Pluribranch.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was going to say it wasn't a nudibranch, was it?
Oh, incredible. Yes, Halloween's my favorite holiday, so
What were you?
me, oh, my costume didn't come in time.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What did you want to be?
I was supposed to be Velma from Scooby-Doo.
Oh, I love that.
That's
Yeah. But I just love seeing what everybody gets dressed up
It's
as.
such a fun holiday.
Especially, I've seen a couple of really good jellyfish costumes. I don't know if you guys have
Oh,
seen
yeah.
those.
That's cool.
I love
So
the people who
creative.
do, like, the umbrella jelly.
Yeah.
I saw an incredible lure fish one.
A lunar fish?
A lure. Like
Lure
the-
fish.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was so cool, and it like glowed in the dark. She paper mache'd the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
I'll show you a picture later.
Yeah.
I was attempting to be a carrier crab with an anemone hat.
Oh. Okay.
I had a little anemone hat headpiece.
Cute. Well, now that we know what a carrier crab is, then we can recognize it.
But I can always bring back the nudibranch costume tonight. You know,
Yeah.
gotta stay warm in the van somehow.
Absolutely should.
Is it a
I
little
agree.
onesie?
It's a onesie, yeah. It's like nice and fleece and warm.
And then maybe we'll see a nudibranch or a pluribranch.
Hopefully.
That's wrong from Elsie.
Where do we have people tuning in from?
Yeah, let me check real quick. All right, we got people from Mexico, Australia, Guam, Palau, Canada, and the U.S.
Awesome.
Welcome all.
From the part of the world that's still mostly awake.
Yeah.
Since we do 24-hour operations, depending on which watch shift, we definitely have different numbers of people coming, tuning in from different parts of the world, which is fun.
Not for a while. Closer to waypoint 2, we'll have some more slopety slope, but that's going to be another 450
Left to port.
meters.
Got something.
I also love to hear what people are
Yeah,
doing
sure.
while they're watching. Like, there used to be like a knitting club that would watch Nautilus live, or being distracted at work.
Oh, I always like to be distracted at work, so sometimes I'll put on the current dive and annotate a different dive.
You're joking.
No. I'll listen to the current dive and annotate a different dive.
I would immediately write the wrong things down. I would hear something and write it down. Or
Oh, no, I can
I could
disassociate what I hear and what I see.
that's incredible.
But if someone gets really excited about something, then I'll look.
Yeah, you never cease to amaze me.
That's an amazing skill.
Shout out to the person from Brooklyn. And also Jason, who's been a very big fan. He's saying, hey, yo, hopefully after 10 years, 2025 will be his 10 years of watching our ocean exploration. He's hoping to get an honorable science chat password. Thank you, Jason, for sticking with us.
So is this the
This is
bony-eared friend?
oh no, this is a
Oh.
cusk eel called Bazazetus. So
Bazazetus.
it's related to the Acanthonus armanis, but it is a different genus. You can tell by the small little beady eyes on the head. The Acanthonus has that really large head that looks a little bit spiky, hence the bony ear part of the name. Whereas this Bazazetus has a very smooth, sleek look.
Okay.
All right, go on.
What's the most helpful part of the fish to zoom in on? Is it the head?
Yeah, the head is usually pretty helpful,
Okay.
especially if you get a lateral view and see the side of the fish.
I'm still blown away that you can watch an old feed while, or the new feed while annotating the old videos.
Oh yeah, and sometimes I'll pull up the chat and I'm like chatting about what we're seeing, and,
It's like
and
the
then
old,
I'm like,
do you
all right,
knit,
go
do you
back.
knit as well at the same time, or
Oh
crochet?
yeah, I'll totally crochet and watch a dive.
That's so many things at once.
Yeah, definitely I'm one of those people that even when work is over, I'm still like thinking about work.
Still
It-
basically doing work.
Doing the same thing, yeah. Like what I like to do for work and what I like to do for fun aren't that entirely different.
And then as soon as you're done, you go out and snorkel
Yeah,
in
it's
Hawaii,
like, oh,
where you live, and look for more sea creatures to
yeah,
swim.
you know, what do I do for work? I just sit and look at sea creatures. What do I do for fun? I go and look at sea creatures.
That is a pretty good life.
It's pretty great. I love it.
What are our Niskin depths?
2,500, so soon.
Okay, soon.
Yep.
Getting really close.
About 35 meters. And then not till 1,000.
Roger.
Ooh, interesting cucumber.
Oh yeah, big one. Can we get a zoom on that?
Going for zoom.
Wow, it's quite big.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
It's like almost 10 centimeters wide, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Wow. It's really big.
What are these little
I can
parasites?
zoom more.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's a bunch of
several
little
parasites.
parasites.
I've got quite a bit of
And a
zoom.
scale worm.
Oh, they're little opossum shrimps.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
this color is really beautiful.
Opossum?
opossum shrimp.
Like the possum?
Yeah, like it has a pouch. So they
Do they
have
play
a
dead?
yeah. No, I don't, well maybe I don't know. Mainly it's because they have this little brood pouch, like an opossum. So they call them opossum shrimp.
Wow.
The scientific name is mycida.
Yeah, Jeff says that they're cool mycids.
I love this little purple scale worm.
I was going to say, I
Yeah.
like the little scale worm down there.
Scale worms are so beautiful.
They really are.
The way
They're-
they move and their shininess.
Yeah, they're so iridescent.
So is this the type of prey animal that a lure would be trying to replicate, maybe?
I think it depends what you're trying to catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure the chaunacops would love to catch a mycid or a polychaete worm. Those would make tasty snacks.
This is a huge sea cucumber.
It is. It's a big one.
Okay.
Yep.
Come on.
Zoom out.
Zoom out.
So all those animals are just associates? pretty
Yeah.
much?
Yeah, they're just kind of hanging out with the sea cucumber.
Taking what they can.
Yeah, they're not harming the cucumber in any way. They're just kind of using it as a bus.
A big bus.
Another
Yep.
bus. Yeah, we definitely get sea cucumbers this big in our shallow waters as well. And that's one of the species that we keep track of at Pig Creek because they're also a important fishery item. A lot of people like to eat them.
Which one, those?
No, not
Oh.
the deep sea
I was
ones.
about to say.
What does a sea cucumber taste like?
It depends. So we have the ones where we just eat the intestines, called yyyy-mm-dd. Then we have the ones where we actually eat the actual skin and everything. Arum. It tastes pretty good.
Star's holding on.
Is there a particular way of preparing them that is common in Palau?
Yeah, so some of the cucumbers, the sea cucumbers they put them in like a basket, and I don't know if it's salt or something they add onto it, and it kind of drips, it seeps through it, and yeah, or yeah, cool.
Sort of like
That's one way
brining
to,
it,
yeah.
maybe.
Brining it, okay.
And then it kind of just melts through the holes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely eat all types of benthic sea animals in Palau.
Nice. I always wanted to try a sea cucumber. Never did. I've tried urchin before.
Yeah,
Oh,
urchin
urchins
is
are
very
good.
popular too.
It's never too late.
Never too
Yeah,
late.
definitely.
We have a bunch of different giant clams, and they're all eaten as well.
Yeah, we saw a lot snorkeling, the giant clams.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
They're cool.
just in the shallow water. There's a bunch right next to our dock at work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we have a aquaculture program as well, where they're trying to spawn and grow them, because in Palau the export of wild giant clams is illegal, but you can export the cultured ones.
Okay.
But of course you can enjoy it while you're in Palau and eat it.
Is there a big export sort of fisheries market? Yeah, in Palau, or?
Yeah, so they really try to encourage and sort of empower local people to be the owners of the aquaculture farms and work on that. So I know that we have a special government program where they study sort of the best rearing methods and then help the local aquaculture farmers to grow their farms. As far as actual fishery, I'm not sure of the dollar value, but I do know that it exists, and it's one of a source of livelihood for Palauans.
Nice.
Yeah. Was that a sea pen that we passed by a little bit ago, or a?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
And some small red jellies.
Little red jellies.
Little red jellies, yeah.
Do you know what controls the different colors of the giant clams? Because I noticed they come in a variety of color.
Ooh, that is an amazing question, and I don't know the answer off the top of my head, but we do have a researcher at Pickrick, we like to say alumni. He isn't with us anymore, but his name is Dr. Lincoln Rem, and that was his thesis project, to understand the colors and how they photosynthesize using the zooxanthellae in their mantle. So for sure I can maybe look up the paper, but his specialty was giant clams, and it was really interesting work. Yeah, and in Palau we actually have 9,
Take an image. That looks kind of cool.
9 out of the 11 giant clam species in the world.
You push in there.
Wow.
Oh, this is pretty cool.
I
What we're
didn't know there were
seeing.
so many here in Palau.
Thrusting.
Is this a...
This is a sea cucumber.
So cool to see it. And then are those in organs inside? Or
Yeah.
Intestines, yeah.
is that all sand, that it's
Pretty much,
sediment?
yeah.
Wow. That is just unreal.
Yeah, don't let these sea cucumbers fool you.
They come in all sorts of
They are agile.
levels of transparency.
Just
Yeah,
the
but
way
we-
it's moving and its skin like folding. Huh.
All right.
That's cool.
Another one. Top.
Ooh.
So maybe we can gear up to try to sample a rock around here. If we see some sort of breakable piece.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, it's like a
Yeah,
really thick
get some good
sheet of.
screen grabs of this, yeah. This is really, really thick. Yeah,
Some intense manganese crusting.
yeah. Wow. In the upper view, it's pretty amazing. So,
Almost like Darth Vader's helmet.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the fisheye.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
crazy.
that's what I was looking at.
Darth Vader's helmet for sure.
I'm wondering if like some of the little ledges down lower, if you were able to get a claw on it, if it would break or not. I'm not sure how fractured these are. Like, also just where you can set up easily. But anywhere in this region
Yeah, we're not moving anymore, Jake.
would be good.
Roger.
Let's get a zoom on whatever you're going for before we break it.
Do you want me to zoom?
Whenever Jake is ready. Maybe like these little lumps. I don't know if those are easier or not. Is that a metallic Gorgia?
I think it's just a Cryptogorgia.
It's a Chrysogorgia.
I can push in there.
Yep.
Okay, come on.
Yep. Okay.
You can push in a bit.
Yep. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Cool.
All right. Grip force 9.
maybe here, or
Yeah.
or even like over there. Yeah. It's pretty solid.
Yep.
What about that little... Oh, it's our sea cucumber.
Yeah, nothing. This is all pretty solid.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
That's
Yep.
okay, no worries. All right, we'll see if we see a better candidate. Those crusts are very solid.